Happy Mother's Day. Mother, Universal Mother, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Mother Earth, human mothers, and the nurturer in all of us, each of us, every being, every creature. We call upon the consciousness of this Divine Mother to tie us all together. Show us that we are tethered as one. Show us that we are not apart, but you're one holy child with many expressions. Let us be as you are, so perfectly unconditional in your love of creation. Show us how to dance with delight in knowing who we are and being able to see that in our brothers and sisters, your children. We call upon the Holy Spirit of God to move in and through us, as us. Change the dance that we dance from one of struggle, conflict, confusion, to one of love, peace, joy, and abundance. And we give thanks in advance that on this glorious day, the day of honoring the Mother, it is the Divine Mother that we're honoring. And really, there is no other. And so it is.
Please join me in reading our mission statement, which you can find on this white card. Together we say, the Global Center for Christ Consciousness is a spiritual center for students and masters on the spiritual path. We are dedicated to awakening the inner Christ and to creating a world of love, peace, joy, and abundance. And now for our sacred reading of the day.
From Solomon's Book of Proverbs. Blessed is the one who finds wisdom, the Divine Mother, which gives us greater insight and understanding. For the gain from her is better than the gain of silver, and her profit is better than that of gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and her paths are paths of peace. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. Those who hold her fast are called blessed. And so it is.
And now let's welcome back John DeMuss.
For me, Mom is always joy.
Thank you. How's everyone doing? Good, good. Interesting week, month, right? Lots going on all kinds of levels, right? This year, it's going to get more intense. You'll see. Some of you might remember a few years ago, I said there's going to come a time in the next couple of years, major signs in the sky. And it started this week. Some of you know about it, some of you don't. But that's only the beginning. That's not what I was saying was going to get really weird. But the signs that finally showed up, that's the beginning of it. Yeah, and it's, what, a week? Like, my hot water heater went out a week ago. And I'm waiting like up to 3 weeks, one guy said. I'm like, oh, that's great. So showering in cold water is wonderful. But I did find a very intimate friend who I could go and use their shower. And they joined me, which was nice. By the way, I left my toothbrush at your place, John. I didn't mean to. It's out. No. What do you want me to talk about today? Oh, nice. Oh. Okay. Okay, hold it. Hold it. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you. All right. So much happening. So much happening. People know and don't know. The solar experiences, the flares, the signs. Remember, when we hear about signs, there's all kinds. There's in your dreams and waking, synchronicities on the inside, on the outside, so many things. And it's almost funny how numerous those are becoming. I can be thinking the most abstract thought, which is all the time, but I can be thinking the most abstract thought, like a song that I haven't heard in 40 years. And all of a sudden, it's the next song on the radio. I mean, so many things. And we're not to get confused. Don't make every one of them something you're supposed to chase after. The bottom line is, these are all symptoms, signs and synchronicities. They're all numerous symptoms of something higher up on the pyramid, which is called oneness. So the ultimate thing, the ultimate message behind signs and synchronicities is, oh, that's right, we're all one. That song, I knew that was coming somehow on some level, because on some level I know all. Not, I know all, I'm not boasting. I'm saying, I know all. That's all of us. On some level, we all do know everything. When the synchronicities are increasing, we're coming together. We're getting it together. We're starting to recognize our connection. But you'll go from many to connected to one. From many to connected to one. That's just a beautiful organic process. And remember, since some of you are asking signs and flares and solar, and all that, it's interesting because science is going to tell you a solar flare took place, but that's going to now do something. Science doesn't tell you, you people have something going on that triggered a solar flare that's now going to bring a result. That's it. Nothing can do anything to us other than ourselves. So we have, let's say, a lot of fear going on in the world, whatever you want to call it, whether it's political agendas or economic things, whatever it happens to be. That's building, consciously and unconsciously, that's building in us. Now, as it's building, eventually it becomes not just building up, it becomes exhaled out into the world. Unconsciously most of the time, but not always. The sigh of relief, right? Everybody do one for me. A sigh of relief. Oh, okay. Now, guess what? That sigh of relief, that energy goes out. And it just goes to the son and says, here's how we feel today. And the son's like, oh, man. Lots of worry and grief. You sent that out to me. Let me mirror that back to you. And that's the role of the Divine Mother. Always the mirror. Always, not a mirror. It's, hi, honey, here's how you're feeling lately. And what we do is we go, that's a synchronicity. A full moon's causing me this. A solar flare is causing. No. I mean, but that's how humans want to live, kind of in the victim and all that role for forever. But you got to get to a point where we say, wow, this is me, right? I'm doing this. This is being revealed to show me parts of myself. So synchronicities aren't the power of other people. It's not even God per se. It's the Holy Spirit mirroring to us. Here's how you're doing lately. So that song, you don't chase it down. Oh my God, I got to call that musician and tell him to marry me. Because, guess what? I heard your song and I haven't heard it in 40 years. Clearly that's a sign. And they're like, what? I've got to go back to doing drugs now. That's not, just relax. The musician's you, the song is you, the message in the song is for you. It came from you on some level. I know that that's not the typical way of thinking for people, but it's the way it is. So recognizing, it's all beautiful. And we talked the last couple weeks a lot about mirroring. So, tune into that. Check that out. One of the words you brought up, some of you brought up fear, some of you brought up service, also relationships. Getting it together and recognizing if everything is a mirror, how am I doing? And A Course in Miracles is telling you the primary place to look is in your relationships. Because relationships don't mean romantic. It means your relationship with everyone. But it also doesn't mean your relationship with everyone. It's with everything. If I walk away from this podium and trip over the mic cord, I'm having a relationship with it. You stupid cord. I can't believe you got my... Blah, 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 blah. The cord did this to me. But deep down, I might be going, I just feel like I have some tangled up parts of my life. And the cord's going, and so it is. And the mother helps lay the cord right in front of your foot so that you trip and fall and go, I get it. You're me. I'm all tied up inside. Could be colon, mind, any part of me is all bound up. Thank you. Who does that? Do you see people trip over boards and go, oh, God, that was just so beautiful the way you laid at my feet and tripped me and broke my leg. Thank you. Namaste. You must go. So relationships with anything, everything, they're all just mirrors. And, relationships really have three parts, whether it's with your parents, your children, your partner, lovers, whatever they happen to be. And they all have these three parts. The first is the vessel. The vessel. And the vessel is, you could say it's kind of like your intention. What kind of relationship would you like to have? Let's do a business together. Okay, cool. Let's have a business vessel. It's a model, a mold. Like you would put the ingredients of bread into a mold. Now, if I put the ingredients of dough into a round vessel and expect a square cake, it sort of doesn't make sense. Well, what's the vessel? You could leave this planet and go, I really don't like the way my mother did this or my partner did that. They're going to say, what was the vessel? I don't know. Well, then how can you complain? Did you set an intention? Do you know what you wanted? And if it was happening, great. If it wasn't, why didn't you walk away? So the vessel is the first part of a relationship. What do you want? If you and I are in business together and I say, let's create a vessel for this. Again, most humans are so unconscious, they don't even know about doing any of these things. Therefore, they're victims of the world they see. So they think. But as you start getting it together, you start to say, you should be saying, let's co-create a vessel. We're in a band. I'm a classical kind of musician. You're a jazz kind of musician. I want us to play classical music, and you don't. take your vessel, go. I'll take my vessel, go, and let's go find ingredients that work in that vessel. First, who are you and what do you want in your life? You want babies, you don't want babies. You want to live in or you don't want to live in. I mean, what are you looking for in partnership and in business? I have this vessel, this intention, and it's going to be, I think, for a couple of years, you, my business partner, and I, we're going to need to do 60 hours a week, and I think we can sell the business in 10 years. That's my vessel. And you're like, actually, I'm thinking more like 10 hours a week, and let's sell it in 2 years. Get into conflicted relationships by having different goals, vessels, there's going to be a problem. But you know, sadly, most human beings don't even know the vessel, but what's worse is they don't want to know. Because if I really like you, and your vessel is retire in 2 years working 10 hours a week, mine is 60 hours a week, we have a problem. It's going to blow up. And if I don't see you showing up for that 11th hour, 12th hour, because you only want 10 hours, and I'm working 60, do you think we're going to get along forever? It's going to blow up. You have to communicate clearly. What are you about? I'm all about work hard, X number of years. We're going to take 10 years, we're going to sell it, and we're going to retire. That's a great model for you. If I'm like, no, I just want to work 10 hours and that's it. But most humans won't tell the other person, I only want 10 hours. They'll pretend they're going to do it, not show up, make the other mad. And when the other doesn't get mad, it'll build and they'll blow. And that's what we commonly have in all kinds of relationships. So the vessel, I know some of them don't seem like you have any say so. First of all, if you're already in a relationship and you've created a vessel that's different from your partner's, it's already going to be messy because you're already in it. There's others that look like, well, I'm a child. I was born into this family. I couldn't tell them what vessel. I get what you're saying. You're not remembering that your soul on the other side was already deciding what kind of vessel, but let's pretend I'm wrong about that and you're just an innocent child victim. Fine, fine. At some point when you reached 18 or 21 or whatever, you're old enough to now say, and I want a different vessel. That's it. I want a fast boat. I want a rowboat. We want different things, whatever the case may be. It's just, we get ourselves into this. Even your relationship with God, there's God, self, others. Even your relationship with God needs a vessel, and it has one. Even when we're unconscious, we don't realize, but there's a vessel. It's not very good. The mold isn't set quite right. You haven't put it, fired it in the kiln, to make it a great vessel, or formed it if it's metal, but what is your vessel? So you sit with this and say, okay, my vessel with God is, and it's often, I'm Catholic, I'm Baptist. That's called a vessel. It's a name for your goal and how to get there. You follow? Your vessel with God might even be, I don't even know if I believe in God. That's still a vessel. Now, my relationship with God, you don't just have a vessel. There's 3 parts of a relationship: the vessel, the ingredients, and the outcome. So decide the vessel. What would you like to do? We're going to do business together. What do you want to do? And again, we start off excited. Let's form a band. Well, tell me about yourself first. No, let's go by the excitement. That usually just doesn't go well. So excitement is not a person who's centered in who they are. To know the vessel, you have to know who you are. That's my recommendation. Know who you are, and then once knowing who you are, center into now knowing who you are, you'll know what's right for you. I found out that I was all excited about doing this business thing with you. And then I started coming to grips with, wait, you're 22, I'm 92. I'm kind of ready to go this direction and you're ready to go that direction. I know it's exciting that we're talking about you too, me too. Oh my God, well, I love that too. See, but sit with this, pace, talk. Where are you going? What are you looking for? I'm looking for long-term business. I'm looking for short-term business or relationship, long-term, short-term. Get really clear, but it's not just the vessel. The ingredients is what you bring to it now. You're baking bread and you bring ingredients. Some of the ingredients are spoiled. It's going to affect this. Ingredients you forgot to communicate that you needed from the person who went to the store. It's going to affect the outcome. So the third part is the outcome. What comes of this? And human beings, it's a strange thing because typically they don't know what their vessel's going to be. And if you don't know what vessel, then what are you going to do with ingredients? How much ingredients should I put? I don't know because I don't know the vessel. If I have a pan this big, it changes the ingredients. If I have a pan this big, it changes the ingredients. But also, free will changes the ingredients of your relationship. Like, I want it to be sweet. Bland, just bland tasting bread. That's my thing. Okay, cool. It's called gluten-free. But, sorry, man. Had to slip that in there, huh? So, what are you bringing to the relationship? Experience? Okay, cool. Ask them if they want to hear about your sharing of experience in that business. They might say, no, because I already know everything. Oh, might not be the vessel I want to entertain. So there's the vessel, there's the ingredients, and this is for all relationships. You have a relationship with your parents, mom, for example. You have a relationship. It's a vessel. But again, are you aware of the vessel, what shape it is, where's it going, what you want? And then what do you bring to it? Most human beings are so unconscious, they don't know they're bringing damaged goods. They're bringing neediness to relationships. See, and that's a big problem because you don't first know who you are. Now you don't know what ingredients you're bringing. Neediness. I have an agenda because neediness leads to agendas. Some of you are upset with parents, not just what they did. Some of us are upset with parents for what they didn't do. And this gets tricky, and I'll tie all that together in a sec, I'm sure. But, it's like, wow, I felt an emptiness even when I came into this lifetime. And therefore, being empty, I needed my parents to help fill that void. And guess what? They usually don't and didn't. Are they bad and wrong for that? You see, back to responsibility. So it's very interesting when we look at our relationship to the world, our relationship with our animals, or even with items, inanimate objects that you trip over and you're having a relationship with it. So in every relationship, there's a vessel, there's the ingredients we bring, and then there's the outcome. Now, technically, I want to add one, that's the main three parts of it. But even when I decide, who am I and what am I about? Now I know what kind of vessel, business, partnership, whatever. Now the ingredients. I tend to be an impatient person, and I know that I'm bringing that, so let's talk about that. And just so you know, sometimes I get impatient and I do this, so help me through that. Tell me what you're bringing. Also, I'm a very creative person. Is that cool? And you might be like, oh, God, this was sounding so good, but I hate creative people. And then I know, let's just be honest. Now, here's where we go wrong, really go wrong. Well, I know you don't like creative people, but maybe I can change you. Maybe I can, look at you all. Maybe you'll become more a creator, a lover of creativity as we get to know each other, which could happen. My question is, are you willing to take responsibility one way or the other? Well, I knew that, and I just thought that might change, and it didn't. Are you cool with that? As soon as you blame them, or even just get unconsciously upset at them, you're projecting again. We are all meant to have holy relationships with everything and everybody. That's our inevitable outcome. We started with holy relation, meaning whole, one with God. We splintered into many, many billions that refracted into billions of those billions, and it just exponentially grew. It's like a fractal nightmare, and it just exploded into an endless number of things. Now, you're told in A Course in Miracles, you cannot get home, you cannot get to heaven unless you have holy relationships with everybody. Oh my God. And Michael just said it's trillions times trillions times trillions. How do I even track them all down? But you're supposed to be practicing something called patience that says this: you don't have to track them all down. The one in front of you is the one where you do the work. Well, but there might be some others I need to... Listen, control freak. Only work on the one in front of you. But what if I'm missing something? Because that's exactly the way the Divine Mother works. She might miss something, so she needs your help. You know, Mother, there's one over there, maybe a little over there. She knows every one of them, and you don't even know 1% of the things you need to work on. She knows all of it. When you'll work on it, what you'll do, how many successes you'll have, and failures you'll have. How to rebound them and bring them back and recycle them so you can work on it again. Give it to the Mother. I don't know. Right now, I'm standing here and I can say, I'm looking at you folks. The fact that you're in front of me, you're a mirror. Either that I'm doing well or I'm not doing well. You see? That's all it is. Gifting relationships show me that I'm doing well. Karmic relationships show me where I have lessons. Yes, they're annoying. Yes, they're upsetting. Yes, they're hurtful. Sometimes violent. Sometimes way out there, really abusive. At the end of the day, you're a holy child of God incapable of being abused on one level. Not the one you're living, but on one level. But the good news is that means that this person, no matter what they've done, is still there for only one purpose: for you to say, got it, you won't be needed anymore, and you're dismissed. That's all. You don't take responsibility for their behavior. You take responsibility for your holding on to it and letting it damage you the rest of your lives or life. I get it. That's all. You just kind of, wow. And what you do when you get it is you start retiring, not kicking people out of your life, not cursing them, hating them. You're retiring them for lack of work. Listen, I used to need somebody that reflected a lot of low self-worth. Funny thing is, I woke up. We won't be needing you anymore. I mean, that's kind of how you do it. You don't actually pitchfork the ego. There's not we're melting. There's not an actual gruesome ending for the ego. You have to have the right weaponry, You just, you won't be needed anymore. That's all it is. A very simple, beautiful dismissal. If you have any pieces that are still left, you might retire the main person, but the Mother will help bring up bits and pieces in other people that aren't so crazy or intense. Just bits of that. And how do you know? They don't act just like them, especially if you've done your work. It'll be a lesser version, a lesser version, a lesser version, and so on, if you do your work properly. If you flare up hurt, hate, blame, shame, you're reinflating the original thing, monster. But generally, I think it's true, most of you would recognize it. You see it thinning out and getting a bit better. Don't judge yourself when one of them flares up again. That's just another cycle, another solar flare. You're the solar, you're the Son of God, you're the light, you're the sun. Helios, you're that. So this is your own flare-up, and it's mirroring things to the human, the one of you that's on earth, to see. So those things flare up again, and it's okay. You can fight it, you can hate, but how did it happen? You didn't pick up my issues. They're yours. Ultimately, in our relationships, I hope I have a mother, a friend, a lover, a whomever, counselor, sponsor, that helps me get through those cycles when they come around. If you do not have anybody at all that you can talk to, cry with, and so on and so on and so on, with some form of healing, vulnerability, etc., it isn't because nobody's capable or worthy. It's your wounds are just too intense, and you haven't chosen to work on them enough. You can be mad at me as though I'm blaming. I'm just saying, there's hope, man. Let it in. Talk to somebody. No, there's absolutely nobody. Here's a technique you can use. Walk around your house telling the space in your room about it. I don't trust any human beings. But you, walls, maybe. You could fall in on me, though. Anything could happen, right? A lamp could fall off the ceiling and crush me because you live in such fear. But try it. I have an issue with da-da-da-da-da. Nothing destroyed me. I'm going to try it in the bedroom. Hey, bedroom, I remember. The bed didn't lift up and slam me. Okay. Try your car. And then try your car on the way to a counselor. And get to the counselor and go, this is very scary. But on my way, I was screaming all my deepest fears and issues. My sister threw me under the bus, and I think you're like an older sister. You're going to do the same. The counselor should hear you. Wow, let's talk about that. Which means you're allowed to talk about it. And you can say, will you punish me if I do? I swear the chances are they're going to go, no. If they do, get a different counselor. But you got to live and you got to risk coming to life. You got to risk coming out. Tell somebody something. It's one of the most beautiful things when people say, what makes you the happiest? One of the things in life that makes me the happiest is seeing people come out with things they've never come out before. I don't care what it is. Oh, I used to be a sniper. Oh, I'm gay or straight. Or I'm this. I'm, whatever. I don't care. When somebody can come out into a place of freedom, I love that. I love the look. I love the sound. I love the whole concept. Because there's something called a bridge of healing. I won't go into it in detail. You've heard me talk about it in healing classes. But there's a bridge to healing. You must get from wounded to love. And I won't go into the details, but in a nutshell, the only thing that can move a person from broken and wounded, post-trauma, anxiety disorders, all those things, over to love and peace and joy is called safety. A person has to feel safe enough to even move from here towards that. There's other components in between, but the general rule, a person has to feel safe enough. So come out, try. And if you're not healing, one of the things to look for is, do you feel safe enough? If you're a little inhibited as a lover, there's only one reason, not feeling safe enough. If you want to try cooking foods that you've never tried before, there's only one cause, I'm telling you, not feeling safe enough. I'm afraid I don't know how to do it. I'm afraid I'll burn it. It's always fear. One of you asked about fear. How can I feel safer? But also, please, with other people, you remember, anytime someone's stuck right here, ask yourself, is there anything, Holy Spirit of God, is there anything I can do to improve a person's sense of what? Safety. Let them feel safe, help them feel safe, they will come out. Our job, can I do anything? And you don't have to say those words. Sometimes you do in different forms. Can I help? Hi there, is there anything I can do to help? You see? What I'm really saying is, I'm here and I recognize we need to create more safety. Sometimes you help people feel safe by taking their hand. Other times, you're saying, hey, listen, they're scared, they're upset, they did something wrong. It's okay. Start the conversation before you tell them what they did wrong with. At the end of the day, it's okay. See? Always a sense of safety. You don't take an animal and force it to eat when it's terrified because it's been abused. You have to create a sense of safety. I'll just put the food there and kind of look over there. What are you not doing? Now, if I've done everything I know and am feeling guided to do to help a person feel safe, you have done what you can. Sometimes, however, other stuff gets in the way. You're trying to help them feel safe and they blame you for not feeling safe. Well, you know what's going to happen then? Me, it's you, and you're not. How can I create a sense of safety? It's not always easy. All I'm saying is keep doing it. Keep asking what more can you do to create a sense of safety. Once you've done what you can, you have to accept what you can't. And if you're a counselor and you're working with somebody and they don't come out as much as you're hoping or needing them to come out, and they don't feel safe enough, you might have to say, it seems like we've done what we can do, but I leave you with one recommendation. Find someone you can feel safe enough to come out more. See, I didn't blame them or shame them, just a suggestion. Safety. Same with everybody. Lover, whomever it happens to be. I remember my youngest daughter would have these moments where youngest and her sisters tease her, and she's got her own little dynamic going on. And so sometimes she's like holding in like the frustration and, oh, they don't listen to me. And then one day I'm on tour and I get a call. Her mom, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm so upset. She kicked a hole in the wall. She blew. When I called, everybody's expecting the parent, I can't believe it. Oh my God, what it's going to cost me. I'm like, start off with this. Are you okay? She starts crying. All this burst into tears. That's what was needed. Are you okay? See, that's a way of helping a person be valued and feel safe. But, walking from wherever she was to the phone probably sprouted a couple ulcers. Because of, I'm a bad person, you're going to judge me. Instead, are you okay? Tears, 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 So I heard you put a hole in the wall. Cool. Okay. I have one suggestion. Get a croquet set and just practice, see if you can hit the ball into the hole, whatever. Like, not because I'm saying you should enable the behavior. Guys, love first. And it usually will take care of everything. Sometimes you also have to do other things. If the kid's doing this as a pattern, as a habit, as a selfish act, you can then do whatever else you want to do, like it's coming out of your allowance or whatever those things are. We have to create holy relationships. That's how we started. And what do you think a holy relationship is? Well, it involves me realizing that you and I are connected. We're all one. And you're just mirroring things to me. You're not another who's better, bringing me, salvation, or a person who's worse and I'm your savior of some kind. There can't be any kind of strange imbalance like that in a oneness. So we have to get back to an understanding, Mom, dad, sisters, brothers, they may not have been stellar. But if I were you, I'd say, if they were the absolute worst in the history of the planet, it's kind of cool. Because that means I lived with the worst, came out of it okay, and now I'm putting a ribbon on it, done. You see? You can even turn that into a success story. Does that make sense? Turn it into, and holy relationship doesn't mean, I'm so glad to be done with you, man. That's not quite holy. Holy, grace, angels, tones of peace and joy. So that means not I'm glad to be done with you. It's actually I'm glad to be done with that. Now I have the ability to see you differently. It's just astounding what we can do when we really understand what relationships are all about. What ingredients are you bringing? So when somebody says, yeah, but my mom wasn't kind, my dad, whomever, but let's say mom. My mom was not kind. I get it. She was terrible. Okay, I hear you. That means now what sadly what happens is you're still waiting for her to change. You're waiting for her to apologize. You don't always go to the bedside of your mother when she's dying because you love her. Sometimes you're like, come on, man, where's my apology? And you're like, hi, Mom, oh, I'm really sorry. And Mom's like, and you're like, can you just squeeze out an apology? And if she doesn't, hurt, you're back in therapy and, years of, I can't believe that woman. But wait, one reason is because when she dies also goes your opportunity to fix things and have it good. You're actually hurt in part, not because just what she did, what she couldn't do, wouldn't do. And that means she had you held hostage. And it's amazing because she might be conscious of it and she might not. But on an unconscious level, remember the solar flare mirrors us. So does your mother. She might be there consciously or unconsciously going, you haven't healed the issues yet with me. I'm going to hold back that apology just to irritate you. just to trigger you into fits of rage. And then you both got to come back in another lifetime and blah, 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 you know. Listen, and one of the reasons, when I lost Mom, who never apologized, I lost the concept, not the mother, not the woman. I lost the concept of healing with the Divine Mother, with femininity, with feminine at all. You understand? Mom's a symbol of woman, nurturer. When she dies and doesn't say, I'm sorry, she blew it. She took that from me. All hope in a good mother. Do not believe that's true. But she's my only mother. Mike, you can't have two moms. Yes, you can. Your counselor can be your surrogate mother. And you can say that. Look, I'm not going to project on you. You know, you better be my mom or else. You have to, sing happy birthday and come to my house. And that's transference, and it's weird and it's inappropriate. But you can say to a counselor, I know that I'm going to use you sometimes to mirror a healthier nurturer for me. Is that okay? She should say yes, as long as you keep it healthy. The person sitting next to you might be the one that plays mother for you today. I'm sorry it wasn't that mother, but that's not the contract you had with that one. Go look it up. Well, I can't, so I'm a victim again. I promise you, it's in the Akashic Records. I went crazy. That's what you got. But if you can't look at another woman and realize that she's not a crazy one, she's a healthy nurturer, and let her be the replacement for mom, then you've blown it, and you're the one who did it. Look around you, and every time you see healthy feminine, give thanks for it. I'm a man, I'm a guy, supposedly, and I stand here and I teach, but I'm still the mother and the father and the brother and the sister. We're all things to all people. We are. But you look more male. Yeah, but your sister, when she threw you under the bus by cheating on, with your husband, she might have been wearing this color. Don't take it too literally, because I know some of you are. I pick up on things and then people go, how did he know? Don't blame me, okay? It's in the ethers. We all know. So I might be wearing the color that your sister wore that day, you see? Now, I might feel bad that wearing that color triggered you. It does. It doesn't feel good to be the trigger for somebody today. We'd rather just be the solutions, of course. But sometimes it's the trigger. What I would ask you is, can you stay conscious with me and talk about this and not hate me for wearing this color? And if you say, no, this is permanent. That color in you, you're out. I hate you. Okay, then I should back off. But, you might be able to walk through it, whether I'm your therapist or your friend or whatever it happens to be. I've known people to get triggered. A guy in their life looks totally different, but wore the same cologne as an abuser 30 years prior. Oh, it's so weird how these things happen. Why would God do that to me? God has nothing to do with it. It's just us bringing things back that we need to tie up, to heal. And the goal is, well, why do I have to? Why does God want me? No. Your soul wants to go home. You want to complete these relationships. I know. Well, I'd rather not do that by dealing with karmic ones. Can I just have loving ones? I'm not the one bringing them to you. I'm sorry. Anything that is not yet holy has to be brought up again and again until it's holy. That's the universal law. Well, I hate those laws. You co-created them. You see? I did this as a kid. Why this family? I can't believe this. And I'd go, God. My dad would say, what are you blaming God for? Because he stuck me in this house. That's what I would say. But I wasn't aware. Should have went, God, no, wait, me. Oh, okay, I'm good. Just a quick loop. I'm good. Yeah, that was me. My bad. I'm not coming back to you again. The triggers, they're going to resurface again and again. What are you bringing to the relationship? What are you bringing to the business? Some of you are trying to do business with other people. Stop. What's the vessel? If you don't get that, forget it. What is the goal, the intention, the vessel? Get clear. If I want to start a study group, a book called Z, I'm going to start a study group Z now. And, Linda May says, oh, I'd love to help you do that. Great. And we're all excited. 3 weeks into it, I could be like, oh my God, she wants it to be a 3 hour and I only want a 1 hour. And, and you start getting and holding this in, venting, gossiping. I don't even like her in the first place. This is what humans do. Stop. You're the dummy who didn't get clear on the vessel. Sweetheart, let's talk about the vessel. It's hard to do when you're 5 years into the business or 50 years into the relationship. Honey, maybe we should discuss the vessel. It's kind of late. Sorry. But it's like, maybe we should discuss the vessel. Like we're on our last breath. Now you want to talk about the vessel? It's never too late. But what ingredients? So what I can do is, our vessel was an unconscious relationship. I'm really sorry about that. And you bring it to healing. And then the ingredients I brought, whatever it happens to be. I know I wasn't really listening all the time. And I'm really sorry. And it's kind of beautiful because you're making amends. And they might say, whatever that other person does, because this is all I got. Maybe they're whittling, So they're whittling, well, that's okay, honey. I love you and I apologize too. Great. But they might not. I don't accept your apology. We just entered a new vessel. Do I want to live in this house with you hating me? At the very least, I think we need to be in separate rooms, lock on my door, and only plasticware for, God. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah. Wow. Remember that sound? That horrific Hitchcock? And do you know what music that became? It became Eleanor Rigby. Dun, dun. That's where McCartney got the idea. Dun, 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 dun. Those sharp little notes. It's amazing. Anyway. In relationships, first and foremost, I have to know myself better. And that includes your relationship with God. First and foremost, my relationship with God. Do not try to create a vessel that leaves God out, or you're in trouble. Do not create a vessel with someone else that leaves you out. God, self, others in that order. So me, needless to say, it's, my relationship with God. Yeah, it's there. It's present. That's me. So naturally, if somebody's like, I want to have a relationship with you, what would you like to do? That's going to be part of it. If they're like, oh, I don't want any of that spirituality mumbo jumbo, I'm glad you told me, that's not my vessel. So what is the goal? What's the intention? We're doing a mastery class this weekend. It was yesterday and it's today. You can still sign up and attend just today. But one of the points we were making in there, if you don't know where you're going, nothing else is going to make sense. You have to know who you are and what you're about. And everything in your life, your shower, your decor, your silverware, your carpet or non-carpet, the type of house, adobe or, framed, all of these things are reflections of you. And if they're not congruent, I'm telling you, it's an accident waiting to happen. If you're driving a car that you despise, the maker, and all that, it's going to go poorly somehow. If you're in a relationship that there isn't this, yeah, that makes sense. Instead, there's this, I don't want to say anything, and they might be this. And that. Be careful. It's just sabotage. So we've got to know who we are before we create anything in our lives. Otherwise, it's going to be incongruent, and we're going to pay the price for that. Now that I know who I am, I can state more clearly, here's the vessel I would like to look at. This is the one I'm creating. Maybe you do this on your own before a partnership, but if you're in one, still sit down and, you You don't have to say you went to a spiritual service and heard all this. Just say, I heard somebody, or I saw it on a movie somewhere. Bring it up casually to people that might be resistant. You can't just, Mom, there's this vessel thing, and you need to fit into this vessel. That's not how you're doing this. If you and your mom have ups and downs, hey, Mom, I really love the ups. The downs are a bit challenging. Is there something we can do differently? You don't have to talk vessel, but that's what you're saying. Is there something we can do differently to contain how we relate to each other? She might be like, honey, and then just, oh, never mind, change the subject, talk about the weather. But you need the vessel for you at least. But I hope anybody you're in relating with, that they're willing to have some sort of an idea around this. What do you want to do here? What's the vessel? What are you about? What's your vessel? Here's my vessel. Where do they overlap? Where do they not? Be clear about that. The second part, after you know who you are, create the vessel. Remember, the third part is the ingredients. What are you bringing? Go, pace yourself enough to know. If you're baking bread, did I put that in there? I can't remember. Dangerous, isn't it? Did I bring some unconscious wounding to this relationship? Dangerous, isn't it? It's the same. I can't remember if I put the sugar in there, the salt in there. Take your time, organize yourself. Don't blame the salt. Don't blame the sugar. Did you measure it and have it there? Put the bag away. There's only one. When it's empty, it means you've put it in. Okay. So then you've got to go to, now we've got, this idea of knowing who I am, the vessel, the ingredients, the fourth, surrender to it. Now we can enjoy the co-creation, the relationship we're creating. The fifth step would be you're still going to have to make micro adjustments now and then. Oh, I didn't even know about that. Ooh, they're a little this, a little that. But that fourth piece, the enjoyment, you get to enjoy. And if it's not enjoyable, something went wrong in you didn't know who you were, the vessel you created, the ingredients you put in. Okay? That said, the last thing or two I'm going to share, and honestly, I mean this. There's a secret, besides all that I just said about relationships. Any kind of relationship, but especially partnerships, lovers, husbands, wives, etc. But in all relationships, this is true. Here's the ultimate secret. The one thing that could make every relationship of any kind work: threesomes. Okay, wait. It's true. Your counselors are going to tell you, don't get into triangulated relationships. Have you ever heard of that? No. Tell them, no, what I need is a triangle. I need a threesome. But it's not the kind you think. There are people that have babies because that's their third party. That's the wrong reason to have a baby. Your husband, your dad and I weren't getting along, so we decided to have you. We thought it would bring us together. That child should be like, I'm out of here. I am so out of here. I wasn't told, the word dysfunction wasn't in your file. When I heard they really need a child, it attracted me, but now I got to look at my neediness issues. The third party is not the child. The third party is not a fun little threesome relationship, although it's worth a try. But two, this third party, as soon as you name it, you're wrong. It is not a third person. It is not a threesome. It is not, let's try your friend. It's none of those. It is God. And or any word that is synonymous with God. So two have to bring God into the picture. You don't need a baby that's a symbol of love. And the source of love is God. We need more God. I want my vessel to be a threesome. Put that on a bumper sticker and drive around town with it. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway. Two shall become one. That's what it means. When the ultimate for a holy relationship is when two become as one. And to do that, one of the simplest means is start thinking as a we. Even in business. Not they versus me, in a divorce, they versus me. How can I, and going back to where we started in one of your questions, selfless service. Even partnerships and business relations are still a place to bring, how can I be helpful today? Think as a we. If you think, well, our relationship's a little topsy-turvy, so I'm going to have my own little things on the side. I'm going to gamble without them knowing it. Think as a we, and you'll realize that's us. It affects her, so I need to not hide this from her. If you want to date more than one person, fine. But do the other people know? Just transparency is the best of your ability. All of this, the secrets, the cheating on your partner, guys, you are not thinking as a we. Psychically, they know something's happening. And it's going to come back to you. Just say, here's where I'm at. I just found that this is how I am. I'm gonna date more than one person. Give them the right to say yes or no. If they say yes, be careful. If you're the one saying yes, are you agreeing things so that your agendas are met? Because you don't want to die alone. So you'll live with somebody who's not what you want. Clear all that stuff out. It takes courage to create healthy relationships because you're going to comb out the knots. Might even snag and hurt a little, but you got to comb out the knots. Let's talk about this. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm not at. Is that making sense? Talk, to a family. Listen, we sometimes do this. Be kind and be tactful, but this kind of goes on and that's just not where I want to be. Can we do this differently? And if they're one of those grumbly, what are you talking about? Don't bring your new age crap to me. Just say, okay, I'm just checking. And inside, I did what I could, done. Whatever done looks like to you. To thine own divine self be true. But you have to know that you have a divine self. Take a few centering breaths. The third party is God, which is really a priority. But for now, when you and I think that we're different in business or intimate relation, wait. The two shall become one. Even if you're just a friend, I should be thinking of us more every day, more and more, as though we're so connected. Think as a we. That's selfless service, even to partnerships. But as I develop this ability, every bit of movement forward is progress you can never lose. Those two original dots could move further apart from each other. We know what that looks like. They can go backwards. That's not a great sign, is it? One of those two dots could give itself up and join the other codependently. That's not good. Those two dots could even move forward but no closer, and those are the scariest. Those are the weirdest, because those are relationships where it seems like I'm okay. I am improving as a person, but you're not noticing. You're not any closer. You need a third party that's like a magnet that pulls you forward and forever closer together. And if you and I only make it 1 foot down that scale, down that chart, I'm a better person. And if it ends, nothing can change my progress. I became more of me. I got closer to God, and I did it with another person as much as was able to do. That is absolutely stellar. And the chances are, had you caught on sooner, you might have even made it with that person that now you might not be able to make it with. And it's okay. No matter you stay with me or not, I'm going to that same place. Me, God. Anyone in my life that's in my life, I'm going to bring along those lines. If they don't want to go there, so be it. That's okay. Peace to them, love to them. Centering into what you heard that made sense. Anything that worked for you, anything that made sense, breathe it in. If something didn't, let it be, let it go. But breathe in. It's not an accident. Something was here that you needed to hear. Listen to these words. Anybody that comes to mind, let them pop in and just say the following. The Holy Spirit can guide the process. Let her help bring the right people into your mind. Let anybody you need to heal with pop into your mind. I accept who you are personally. That's what you say to them. I accept who you are. It doesn't mean I accept that you're a lowlife. It means out go my agendas, my needs. Yeah, I would have liked you would have been a different person, a better person. No, I accept you, who you are personally. Do that with anybody else that's popping into mind for the next 20 seconds or so. Just sound objective. No disdain, no major resentments. And if you feel them, see them. It's okay. Yes, I still feel resentment, but I accept who you are personally. Do that. If people pop into mind that you think you were already healed with, please know they pop into mind, so do it. Anybody that pops into mind, I love you soulfully. I love you soulfully. I love your soul. My soul loves your soul. We're not talking about personalities now. We're not talking about deeds and actions, karma. My soul loves your soul. I love you soulfully. I accept you, to the ones you said that to, personally, but the people, I love you soulfully. Whoever you're supposed to say that to, let them pop up. The next batch of people, I honor who you are spiritually. Anybody now that pops in, just say it. I honor who you are spiritually. And the last, anybody that pops into mind, you're going to repeat all three things to that person. If they're popping in, it means the mother has decided you could pull this off. Whoever pops into mind, I accept who you are personally. I love you soulfully, and I honor who you are spiritually. Be as heartfelt as possible. And if you pull off saying those three things, you have created the beginning of a holy relationship with them. They might be people unexpected and some expected, but it's cool, just whoever they are. I accept who you are personally. I love who you are soulfully. I honor who you are spiritually. The fruits of doing this bring something that's called peace that surpasses understanding. And so it is. Feel a sense of gratitude for all the people that just showed up. Feel a sense of gratitude that you had the courage to look at any of those images. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What greater gift could you give to the mother than for her children to become whole again? I mean, that's the ultimate thing. Her heart aches seeing us separate in any way, shape, or form. So to gift her what we just gifted her is profound. Okay? Good, thank you. Before we fully come out of that, and by the way, in a second we'll do our closing prayer. Before we do, just one quick thing. Ushers, you can wait. Don't rush too much. We're not doing it yet. I'm going to have this gal in the white top. Yep. Could you just hold the hands of the two people next to you, each of you? Yeah, good. Good. Just sit there. Good. Sit there and breathe for a second. She might be bringing this to you, or she might be asking this of you. But this is something that I saw. So just sit there for a moment, eyes closed. For yourself, or for all of us, or both, just repeat the words, I'm so tired. Good. And feel that. She's saying it for all of us, but also for herself, perhaps. You're letting the people whose hands you're holding, and just say it again to them and let them know through your hands. I'm so tired. Yes, you are. Download all the reasons why to them. If you know who they are or you don't know who they are, that's not the point. Right now, they're just souls. Somehow sitting next to you for some reason. They're just the right people for you to be able to say this and they to hear you. And squeeze their hands a little bit and repeat it one more time. I'm so tired. Atta girl. The two people sitting next to you repeat the words out loud. I know.
I know.
And I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry.
Let's change this.
Let's change this.
That's right. Just for a moment, hon. Lean and put your head on one of their shoulders. Let the other one put their hand on your back for a moment. That's all. And the other will put her hand on your back. That's it. Just soak that in. It's very beautiful. And, and we're all bearing witness to this. But every one of us has felt tired, so she's showing us this and giving us this opportunity. And yet, she's bearing the burden for some reason. She was selected. So, we're sorry for that. But we're grateful to you for mirroring that to us. Permission to trust other people, to be held, to have a place to feel and cry. We love you. We love you. Thank you for sharing this, and we're sorry that that part happened, but we love you. Thank you for all this. Please forgive us. Any person's ever feeling tired that we weren't there, we're sorry. Please forgive us. And thank you for forgiving us. But we're glad to be there now. She's your child that has felt this way. She's your partner that has felt this way. She's your mother, your father that has felt this way and didn't feel permission to just, let it come out. Would you feel comfortable leaving people that way? Yes or no? Would you be comfortable leaving people in pain like that? No, you shouldn't. Good. When you see this in the world, try to be helpful. Try to be of service. Thank you. While you're centering and just kind of relaxing for a moment more before our closing prayer, a couple of things I'll share with you. Remember, we have the healing room, the yurt out here, crystal bed, in case you'd like to go and experience the crystal bed and just have some extraordinary healing there, physical, energetic, emotional healing. I'm going to say the last time, because I'm only saying this for a couple of weeks, we now have a QR code. It's in the bookstore, and it's online, and it's also on the screens in the morning. There's a little odd-looking box with all the dots. The QR code, you just put that in your phone. As long as your phone's on and you're signed on, you put it, it'll activate your phone to where you can write a review for the center so that people know what we're about and that sort of thing. If it feels, you feel called to it, share some, nice feedback. We're on social media. You can watch these services, even if you're not here, obviously in person, anywhere you are, Facebook Live or on YouTube. A few hours later, it gets uploaded to YouTube, so you can see it there. And most of our events and programs we feature live, so you can watch and stay in touch with all the things we're doing. I want to announce John Dumas. If you haven't had, he's an extraordinary astrologer, and he does his astrology readings here on Wednesdays. So if you'd like to bring your chart and have him read it, or have him do the whole chart, whatever you want to do, call the office and you guys can hook up and create a timeline to do a session. He is, I hear amazing feedback from several of you who have had readings already. Remember, our crystal point came in now, so we have our labyrinth and our obelisk out there. Some of you had some extraordinary experiences. It's only been a week already out there, just the things. You walk the labyrinth. In our threefold brochure on the front of the seats in front of you, it tells you about labyrinths, and on our website too, we're finishing a mention on there. But what labyrinths are about, what they do, they're extraordinary. But at the end, to be able to look, gazing at this crystal, there's so many things in there. See what you find. See what you see. Images of totems or animals or people or whatever. And ask first the mother, what do you want me to see? And let her reveal something to you. Let's see. We have... I'm offering a special interactive class for spiritual healing. Oh, that one. So I'm thinking, what am I doing now? So Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, and that includes this coming Wednesday, we have a circle in here now where you can, people that have asked me to do mentoring, I'm not going to do that because I think people charge too much for mentoring and all that, and time limits. It's worth it. If you do mentoring with people, make sure they're great. And that's your thing. That's perfect. It's not my thing to do. I don't have the time. But this is kind of mentoring. It's kind of teaching, but it's also experiencing and processing things that need to be worked on or healed. This afternoon's the rest of our Master Healing and Mastery Workshop intensive. So it's like 4 hours after service. It starts, I think, on the hour. So you can sign up. You can still sign up. You just come in at the door after you've had lunch. And I think that's all those. That crystal skull is for sale. Somebody already bid $500 on it. If you want to pay any more than that, you can outbid them, and it's yours. It's beautiful. And I think it's going to be, where's it going to be, Dosie? In the table out there? Yes. It'll be on John's table where he's selling his products, and I think he has a mailing list. Please get on that so you can kind of know when he's doing things. We're going to probably have volunteer day this Saturday, so if anybody's interested, if you are one of our volunteers, check in with the office, but we'll send you an invitation to it if you're a volunteer. If you're not, you can still say, hey, I'd like to help. Every so often, on an average of every couple months, one day, Saturday, we come in and just kind of do things that need to be done that haven't been taken care of, a little bit of handyman things or just clean up or whatever it is that we can do. Please share your love offering and we'll do our closing prayer. If you don't have a love offering, we're not going to close. We're going to keep you here. Your love offering, be as generous as you can be. Thank you. Thank you. They talked about that. And I'm going to remind you, the Mother's Day celebration with Gabrielle Young reciting Rumi poetry and such, John Dumas as the musician, that's today, 5 p.m. So please check it out. Come back. Okay, and you can register for that maybe in the foyer. if you need to pay for it, you pay in advance. That'd be helpful, especially since they can get a head count and arrange chairs accordingly. Your love offering, the prayer is online for you to see, but it's also on the brochures in front of you. Prosperity prayer. Together, please. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Excellent. It'll only take them a minute or two to pass the baskets around. The bags are for your donations. The baskets are only for any extra donations so that we can help people of lesser means or for special projects that we're working on. All right? While they're passing those around, can anyone share, what did you learn, hear, experience, or feel, or see that you think is going to be helpful to you? Yes?
Clearing the vessel.
Clearing the vessel. Yeah, it's a mold, man. You know, if you don't have a clear vessel, why? Human beings, they actually complain. I wanted a square one. Did you create a square one? I wanted a round one. Did you tell everybody I want a round vessel? Know who you are, and the world can comply. If you don't know who you are and you don't make it clear, people can't comply. Yes?
The threesome triad.
The triad, the threesome, right? Isn't it beautiful? Go to the grocery store this afternoon. Tell a friend, nice and loud. You know what I found out today? Threesomes are the only way to make relationships successful. Just put everybody to the test. You know somebody's going to be fainting, and we have fainting in aisle 3 because that's going to be too much for their brain. Other people are going to be like, oh, I got to get their number. Stay away from all of them. Threesomes are the way to go. You and me and God. And it's you and my mom and God, and it's all my relations. I don't want to have a relationship with any of you without your permission for a third party. See? And it's God. Are you okay with that? You might say yes. Great. We have a holy relationship. Let's go. Let's start creating a holy relationship. And if you say no, no problem. There's you, there's me. I'm going here. And you say no, let them go. You keep going. Anyone else? Yes. Safety is the motivator, the fuel to get you from broken to healed, to love. You got to feel safe. But remember, I said, help other people feel safe. Anyone else? Yes, one more. You're here because you're supposed to be here. And all the assignments you gave everybody. You know, it's true. And I know sometimes I don't like the assignment I gave you, which really means I don't like me, some part of me, because that's what you're there reflecting. And it's painful sometimes. Just ask God to be with you and comfort you. Call on the mother. You know, hold me in my heart. Help me to deal with the pain I'm feeling, seeing what I signed up with here. Okay? Thank you. How are you feeling, dear? Wonderful. Wonderful. Good. So glad to hear that. God bless you. Thanks for bringing that to us. Yeah, and I know I didn't ask your permission, but psychically you told me to do it, so I'll blame that. I did. You did. Good. I'm joking. Please stand for our closing prayer. Isn't it extraordinary what we do as a group? Online folks too. I mean, it's amazing. Finest musicians. We don't settle. You know, the finest musicians, the best we can get in the area, and they love what they do. We want people that love, that get what this is all about. You know, our return to the awakening, to God consciousness, to love. Center into that gratitude, that feeling. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we go, God is, I am, we are, and so it is. And that's the blessing we send to each other and to the world. Peace be with you all. God bless.